Did Kody apologize?
Hey, howdy, hey, and happy holidays.
Hello, sister friends. I had to do a follow-up video because I have been thinking more and more about this non-apology tour. And I'm a detail-oriented person. I love creating these videos, but in the end, I would say I'm more left-brained. And because of that, as you know, I break down things and look at things analytically, i.e. Kody's speech. Well, I had to see, did Kody apologize? Let's talk about him.
I don't apologize. I don't apologize. I don't apologize.
Okay, friends, I have a sheet of paper here where I went back through the video and I wrote down every single line that Kody said. Yes, I did. And I am pulling out all the ones that are specific, and the majority of them were relating to this, but all the ones that were specific to him, quote unquote, apologizing. Now, I'll grab my little handy dandy clipboard here, and I am going to, with you, data collect it in real time because all I have are the sentences written here. I haven't analyzed it. Let's do that together. Sentence number 1. Kody says, basically, I just wanted to come and say, pause, that I apologize. Pause. Oh, I have a list.
Basically, I just wanted to come and say that I apologize.
Wow.
Oh, I have a list.
There's no list.
That was all one thought. I am not going to embellish any of these. I'm not going to add anything additional. I am reading to you exactly as it is on the show. All right. Nice to know that he's going to apologize. Question number 1 for you, sister friends. Did he apologize? No. We use the word apologize. Apologize word. Okay. We're going to say how many times he says apologize. Over here, I'm sorry. Saying I'm sorry is apologizing. This is how he's distancing himself. He is distancing himself so much from the notion of apologizing that he couldn't even say, I mean, I don't even like the word I apologize. I like I'm sorry because we talked about this before. When you say I am sorry, it's taking full responsibility, it's ownership, it's personal. I apologize is more of a descriptive, removing yourself from the situation, very cold, but he doesn't even say, I apologize. I wanted to come and say that I apologize. In my opinion, there's been no apology. Am I wrong? Because this is how I understood the English language. It was like saying, you know, I wanted to come to the store and shoplift something today, but I didn't. I wanted to come and give you a big fat kiss, but I'm not gonna. To say I wanted to come and do something is not doing it. It's saying you wanted to. So far, we have the word apologize. We will give him credit for using the word apologize.
Good boy.
But he still is, let's see, what would this be considered? This would be stating intent, okay? He's stating his intent of what he plans to do in the future. Stating intent, okay. We have 1 for stating intent, 1 for using the word apologize. So far, we have not heard him say, I am sorry, nor have we heard an apology. But let's continue on. Next sentence. I'd just love to apologize for. I would love to. Again, he can't even say I apologize. As sterile as it is to say I apologize, he can't even do it. He can't say, I apologize for. He can't do it. I'd just love to apologize for. Okay, so we use the word apologize again. Still not apologies, but we're just using the word. Like he gets credit for just saying the word, even though it's not part of an apology yet. I'd love to apologize for, pause. The first thing is, I want to kind of go backwards. He was having a visceral reaction and couldn't even finish the sentence, even though it still wasn't a sentence. It was saying, his intent in the future, I would like to do this. Before it was, I wanted to come and do this. And now he's saying, and in the future, I'd like to do this, but he's still not apologizing, right? Right. The first thing is I want to kind of go backwards. Next thing, this is really kind of all the same thought. I don't know if these are different sentences. He does these big, long, pregnant pauses. I want to apologize for. Okay, are you going to apologize or you want to do it? Because again, all right, but he said apologize again. He gets credit for the tiniest little crumb. I'm so generous to this man. Okay. Just being so angry and so bitter over the family breakup.
The first thing is I want to kind of go backwards. I want to apologize for just being so angry and so bitter over the family breakup.
Okay. So we know what he wants to apologize for. First of all, in my last video, you saw that's not what he should be apologizing for. He needs to be apologizing for his actions. Being angry is an emotion. Everybody gets angry. Whether it's right or wrong, everyone gets angry. We all have emotions. We have good emotions, we have bad emotions. Sometimes we're better at regulating and controlling them, sometimes we're not. It's part of life. It's like our thoughts. We have good thoughts, we have bad thoughts. We try to regulate and control them as much as possible, but we are human. So he's apologizing for something that absolutely everybody in the world experiences. Anger. That's it. That's what he said. I apologize for, pause, just being so angry and so bitter over the breakup of the family. He's apologizing for his feelings inside. He has not made one real apology for something he's done, nor has he said, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I just love to apologize for.
Which is the funniest sentence, right? I would just love to apologize.
No, you wouldn't.
This is proof his words are meaningless, because there's no way Kody would love to apologize, because we went through this entire episode. I'm not certain if we got to the end with any apology. Let's go on. Next line, he says, and just nobody deserved to have me be that angry. Okay, now we have sentences that are just stating the obvious facts. We'll just call it fact, okay? Now we're just stating facts. This will be interesting to compare this. I'm going to do this video after the Christine episodes and then after the Mary episode as well, and see if there's any difference between all of them. Now, keep in mind, Christine has 2 episodes, so I will wait until the end of his entire experience with her before I do my data collection. Okay, we are now stating facts. Nobody deserves to have me be that angry. Is that an apology? No. We're just stating a fact. Yes, nobody deserves to have you. Where are you feeling contrite and sorry and apologizing for it? He's not. He's just stating fact. Nobody deserves to have him be that. Nobody deserves to have anybody be that angry. It's not an apology. It's just stating the obvious. It's stating a fact. Moving on. He says, aren't you glad that I was angry? It's the worst. Let me tell you why. If I had been apathetic, it would have meant you weren't important. Okay, right now, we are giving the absolute opposite of an apology. We are justifying our behavior and manipulating the conversation. Boy, he managed to do that in these 2 sentences. So we are justifying. I have a feeling we are going to have more of these because he loves to justify his behavior in general. So I am certain this is going to come up again. Manipulating, because, did you see her afterwards too? She's like, oh, well, she started off ready to say something, and he interrupted her. He said, aren't you glad that I was angry? And she goes, well, and he cuts her off.
Well, aren't you glad that I was angry?
Well,
Let me tell you why.
Wait. Janelle, hold on. Look into my eyes. If I had been apathetic, it would have meant you weren't important. You should be gracious. You should be thanking me for being angry. It shows my love. It's how I show my love to you. My lover, Janelle. Okay, let me finish here. Manipulating. Moving on. My anger and my bitterness and my I didn't really love her, that was all from attachment.
Okay, it's a compliment to you. If I'd have been apathetic, it would have meant you weren't important.
Justifying again. He is justifying his last sentence even. Another justification, a continued manipulation, and Janelle eating it up. Yep, I did that because I love you so much. Boy, this is like classic narcissist behavior right here. I'm going to twist and turn this situation around, make myself the victim, and make you feel sorry and bad that you questioned the fact that I was angry. My anger, it's because I love you so much. That's what he's saying here.
Save that righteous anger, young man.
But he's saying this is an apology. It's not only not an apology, it's the opposite of an apology, and it's manipulation. Let's go on.
I think the meanest thing that I did was I said I didn't love you. That wasn't true.
First of all, can I just say, it's not up to him to say what the meanest thing he did was. Again, he's controlling the situation. I just want you to know, I'm going to tell you now the meanest thing I did. I'm not going to talk a minute about anything that I said or did to any of your boys in the family or your daughters. What am I talking about? Both of them were hurt badly by him. We're not going to talk about any of that. And he's twisting and controlling her mind right here to get her to forget all that. Like, I want you to know, this is going to be the meanest thing I did, what I tell you right now.
I think the meanest thing that I did was I said I didn't love you.
Stating a fact, we knew that. His ego and his pride was so bruised and so hurt, and he looked so bad in the face of 3 out of 4 wives saying peace out, that he had to come back like a little child and go, well, I didn't love them anyway. There. That's really all it was. He couldn't argue against the things they were saying. He couldn't argue against the reasons why they were leaving because they were all true. And he didn't have a leg to stand on. There is a TLC show with footage that proves everything they said. So he's going to be like, well, fine, but I never loved you to begin with. I stayed with you for 20 to 30 years. I'm the good guy here. So that was a fact, but it's also manipulation because that's what he's trying to do right here. He's trying to manipulate and control her into not thinking about anything that he did with her children and just saying, I'm telling you, the worst thing I did was saying, I didn't love you. He thinks now he said that he's apologized. No, it's not an apology. It's just stating a fact. There's no I statement regarding his remorse. No, let's go on.
That was a lie from the perspective of pain.
Again, the opposite of an apology and justifying his behavior. Listen, I said those words, I know. It wasn't true, but it was pain that was speaking. Again, I'm not sorry I said it. I'm not going to say that. I'm just explaining, stating a fact, and we're justifying our behavior. Partially manipulation too, but like I'm trying to do as little of these as possible because we could kind of check everything almost for everything. So like, what are the main things that are happening in this sentence? And where is the apology? That's really what we're trying to get at. I'm breaking down what he is doing, but we're looking for the apology. How long will we go before we get it? Let's go on.
Okay, so I've been a bastard for about 3 years about this whole breakup, 4 years, all right?
All right. That's stating a fact, obviously. But I am also going to mark this under manipulation. Why? Because he's doing this thing where he's looking at her and he's like, all right, to get the other person to nod in agreement. The other thing Kody likes to do a lot is, you know what I mean? And it's just naturally the other person just kind of nods their head because it breaks up the whole conversation and the flow of what the person is saying. If you just interrupt them and go, no, I don't know what you mean. You just nod your head until they're through with what they say. It's a manipulation technique. He's manipulating. He's just stating a fact. Okay, next sentence. There are some mistakes I've made in plural marriage specifically. And that's where he goes, pivot. Because the closest he got to apologizing was that sentence before, I think. I don't know. I have to go back and read the rest of them. But I think this is the closest he's gotten. Okay, so I've been a bastard out of this whole breakup for 4 years, all right? He's just stating the obvious, he's stating a fact. But his dastardly behavior was in relation to her children. He wasn't good or kind or nice to her, but they've had up and downs throughout the years. We know in the book, Janelle left him at least twice before the Sister Wives show began. She lived for like a year in a whole nother state with her mom. And then eventually he lured her. Okay, we're not going to get into all that, but the point being his behavior and the reason Janelle left, and she said this, is I cannot handle you telling me to be a wedge between you and my boys or to pick between you and the boys. I won't do it. And if you're going to force my hand, I'm picking my kids. And he forced her hand and she chose the children. Well done, Janelle. So when he says I've been a bastard for 4 years,
minimum,
it's all the children. But he doesn't let her speak at this moment. He jumps right in, clarifies and justifies by saying, there's some mistakes I've made in plural marriage specifically. I've done a whole bunch of stuff, but specifically, we're talking about plural marriage here today. We're talking about you and me, Janelle. You and me. We are never going to mention the children. So this is avoidance. We don't have avoidance here, right? I probably could have been doing that. It's definitely stating a fact, right? Let's go back. There are some mistakes I've made in plural marriage. Well, that's stating a fact, yes. He's made some. There's a ton, but okay, we'll give him credit for just stating a fact. There's some mistakes I've made. I'm just going to click one on avoidance. It's kind of manipulating too, because he's manipulating the conversation to forget all the kids and to have her just focus. I'm giving one a manipulation. I have to. He's manipulating her mind and the conversation by actively avoiding everything to do with the children and talking about Janelle, even though the breakup of the family was because of his behavior in the past 4 years related to her kids. Moving on. Next thing he says.
When you and I got married, I remember this affection we shared. Ooh, and this really made me question plural marriage pretty hard.
Okay, I don't even understand the sentence really. How do you question something really? Pretty hard. Such bad use of vocabulary here. You question plural marriage authenticity. You question plural marriage's validity. You question plural marriage's legitimacy. I remember the affection we shared, and it made me question plural marriage pretty hard. I mean, is he throwing Mary under the bus here? Like, I don't even know how to categorize this statement because I can't understand how his brain works and how the words come out. But I'm thinking maybe he's throwing Mary under the bus. When you and I got married, we had an affection and it made me question plural marriage because I realized I had this other chick over here that I didn't have the same affection for that I had for you. So maybe I shouldn't be in plural marriage. Maybe I should divorce Mary. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's a huge rabbit hole and a complete tangent that's not true, but that's kind of the only way the sentence makes sense to me. That you marry somebody, have affection for them, but then question plural marriage. Like the two don't go together unless we're throwing wife number one under the bus, which I think he might be doing here. All right, but still, it's not an apology. He's just stating how what is he stating? Oh, a feeling again. He's stating a feeling again. He's still not talking about his actions. He's still saying that he questioned something. Do we have a category for that? We should have a category for emotions, not behaviors. But we already have too many categories here. We have apologizing, saying I'm sorry, stating intent, stating facts, justifying, manipulating, and avoidance. Boy, there's a doozy of a conversation here. All right, so we're not going to add that additional category. We're going to go on here. Next thing he says is, I wish I would have seen the need for you and I to protect our special place.
Guess what?
We have to add another category. Not my fault. It's deflecting. Really all the deflecting. Do we have deflecting? We have manipulating, justifying, avoidance. Yes. Okay. And deflecting. I'll write that down. Deflecting and avoidance. Okay. So we have two of those. Again, he's not apologizing. He's just saying, I wish I would have thought like this when I was in the past. Not, I'm sorry that I didn't, or I'm sorry that this is what I was thinking, or I'm sorry for the way I acted. Nothing. Just to be clear, what we're counting here, these are not apologies. I'm not even going to put it under stating a fact because he's just talking about his emotions. We don't know if it's a fact or not. Moving on. Next sentence. Yet, if I would have understood that, I think it would have been a lot safer for you. Okay, we got to break this up because it's kind of like two different thoughts. There was a big pregnant pause in there too. Yet, if I would have understood that, again, not my fault. You have to have a not my fault category. Okay, so that's two not my faults, which is also deflecting and avoiding the real issue of what's going on. If I would have understood, I would have been a good guy. I just didn't understand. Not my fault. Don't need to apologize. The next part of that sentence was, I think it would have been a lot safer for you. I don't even know. What does it mean? Was she really unsafe?
No.
Their use of safe is meaningless, completely meaningless. I think he thinks he sounds cool when he says it. Think I would have been safer for you. Okay. Well, we can't even put it as a fact because he said, I think I think it would have been a lot safer for you if I would have understood that. Like, I think this would have happened if this could have happened. All right, let's talk about hypotheticals. We should have had a category for that. We're 3/4 of the way through. We can't go back. But oh my gosh, the hypothetical situations. Maybe, possibly, if, like all those words, I didn't even bother to count those. All right, so we're going to categorize this as not a fact, but deflecting for sure. Deflecting and avoidance, because we are not talking about the issue anymore. We are still redirecting, manipulating Janelle into talking about something that happened 35 years ago.
That's insane.
That is not what made him angry. He just said, I'm here to apologize for my anger. Now, he hasn't yet, but now we're going to talk about something in the past. And we are apparently blaming it on Mary and saying it's not his fault. He was just young and just didn't understand.
I wish I would have seen the need for you and I to protect our special place. Yet, if I would have understood that, I think it would have been a lot safer for you.
All right. I think it would have been a lot safer for you. Like I wrote in my notes here, I just put safer from not protecting your special place or from not protecting you from Mary, because they're two different things. The way the sentence came out, it would be their special place, but I think he's trying to talk about Mary here. I don't know. Ooh, head's starting to hurt. Head's starting to hurt every time I try to analyze this, man. Honest to goodness, I sit there and I analyze disabled preschool children's language samples, and I don't get headaches, but somehow when I'm trying to figure out what this man is saying, my head starts to hurt. It's a real thing. I think I'm allergic to Kody. So after he said, yet if I would have understood that, pause, not my fault, I think it would have been a lot safer for you. His next line is, I feel like I put you in harm's way and that it didn't step up to protect you. That is a loaded sentence right there. First of all, I feel like I put you in harm's way. Now, I didn't say I put you in harm's way. Again, this is Kody, his ambiguous language. We should have been counting ambiguity.
I feel like I put you in harm's way.
But look at the next thing he says. And it didn't step up to protect you. He can't even say, I didn't step up to protect you. Again, it would be stating a fact. It wouldn't be an apology, but he can't even get there.
And then it didn't step up to protect you.
It didn't do something. It's like he has a physical or reaction to taking any kind of ownership or responsibility. It is a fascinating sentence. Stating the fact, he didn't. And I feel like I put you in harm's way. I didn't step. Okay, this whole thing is again, manipulation and a deflection and avoidance to what he's there to do, which is apologize for what he's done and said. We haven't heard that yet. Haven't gotten to that part.
Don't hold your breath.
But we have a major deflection here because it didn't step up to protect you. I don't even know what it is. It's crazy. Kody, say it with me. Here's the kicker. This has nothing to do with Kody's language, but I put this little note in here. After he said, I feel like I put you in harm's way and it didn't step up to protect you, there was a long pause and Janelle thanked him.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, it's the worst. He is manipulating on a level I've never seen before. It's tragic, is what it is. He goes on. He says, and for that, and the fact that I didn't protect you. Now, the only protection is from Mary. Deflecting, and we're blaming Mary. Not my fault. Not my fault. We got to get a not my fault there. He never finishes the sentence. All right. And then eventually Janelle chimes in and he doesn't have to.
Wow. Thank you. Yeah.
This is where it looked like he may have come out with I'm sorry. Actually, he probably would have never said I'm sorry. He probably would have said I apologize. But that would have been huge if he would have, right? Because we never heard him say I apologize. I would like to, I meant to. So the sentences, and for that and the fact that I didn't protect, he couldn't say. The next word that comes out of his mouth was like.
And for that, and the fact that I didn't protect, like,
We didn't know.
He was intentionally trying to redirect the sentence because this was the point that he had to apologize. And Janelle lets him off the hook. She starts talking about like, oh, we didn't know, we were kids and everything. And I'm just like, oh, just let him finish. Who cares if he has these long pauses where he looks like, I mean, he clearly was ill prepared for this meeting. There are so many times where he has these huge pauses where he's trying to figure out what to say. And really, I think it's him just trying to figure out, how do I say the next thing that comes out of my mouth? Because the next thing should be an apology, but I really don't want to apologize. How can I say something else? Or what does she want me to say now? I don't know. But we have these huge pauses where he just stares. And he got off on this one. And for that, and the fact that I didn't protect, like, incomplete thought. I don't even know how to categorize that. I'm just not even going to mark it under anything because he started, I guess we could say it's stating a fact because he said, I didn't protect. He hasn't apologized for it, but Janelle lets him off the hook. Okay, the next thing he says, but my mistake in just not being brave enough, man enough, strong enough, because I know that you didn't feel safe in that space. Follow along, people. But my mistake in just not being brave enough, man enough, strong enough is what? We don't know. Literally, the next word is, because I know that you didn't feel safe in that space and you were probably thinking to yourself a lot, I made a huge mistake. And he starts laughing, marrying this guy. We're going to make light of this whole situation right now, but he never finishes.
my mistake in just not being brave enough, man enough, strong enough.
Was what? We have no idea what his mistake was. Because then he goes, because I know that you didn't feel safe enough. Again, we're going to talk about your feelings. We're not going to talk about my behavior, but we will point the finger at Mary here again. God, how many times has he pointed the finger at Mary? I feel like I need to go back through this. I can't start now because we're near the end.
Didn't feel safe in that space, and you were probably thinking to yourself a lot, I made a huge mistake marrying this guy.
I guess. Who cares? That's what I got to say. Who cares? This is 35 years ago. Are we going to talk about what you did that caused your wife to leave you? Because it wasn't this. We were talking about something 35 years ago. This is not the reason she left. She stayed with him for 30 years after this happened. He doesn't need to apologize for this. Manipulation. Sorry. And it's distraction. Because again, we're not talking about anything. Deflecting, avoidance. Next line. I have an experience where I was going off to the mountain to log. First of all, we need a category for lying because he's making this up. We know how he likes to talk about his life as if it came straight from an old movie or a Western. And that's where it is here. You know, when I was going off to log back in the day, because Janelle specifically said he was in sales. I'm going to find it. I'm going to put it in here. She distinctly says that at this time, this conversation that he's now referring to is when she can call it sales. He was in something, but it wasn't logging. It definitely wasn't logging. So I think she's referring to another job where he did something else.
I have an experience where I was going off to the mountain to log.
So I was pregnant with Logan and he was on the road. He was a route sales guy.
Lying for dramatic effect is something that is a Kody Brown thing and a Robin thing. He's talking about something that happened in the book. He's not apologizing for anything that happened that we don't already know about as a viewer. So who's he really doing this apology tour for? Everybody watching the show? So that they look at him and go, wow, I didn't realize he's a great guy. Where I was going off to the mountain to log. I was going off to the mountain. So I was going to work is what most people would say, but not Kody Brown. Kody Brown says, I was going off to the mountain to log because I'm cool. Life is an old Western. All right, the next thing he says, and you were sobbing. Okay, so we're still talking about this deflecting situation. You were sobbing and you were saying, do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Big pause. I just didn't realize that you weren't feeling safe. talking about Mary again. We're pointing the finger at Mary. She's not unsafe because he's going logging and she feels like, oh, what if he has an accident and he's disabled and I have to work the rest of my life? Like, I feel financially unsafe. Or when he's gone, I think somebody's going to break into our double wide. So I feel like, no, it's Mary. He's talking about Mary. Again, how many times are we going to keep evoking Mary in this situation from 35 years ago?
I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I wish Janelle would have just stepped up at this moment and said, yeah, everything you're talking about happened 35 years ago. Mary and I are fine now. So is that what you came to apologize for? What happened in the first year of our marriage? Or are we going to talk about the breakup of our marriage? That would have been great for her to say. She didn't. We have another, not my fault. We still don't have an apology. Okay, we're almost at the very end. A few sentences left. This is supposed to be Kody's apology tour. It is the non-apology tour. There has not been an apology yet. Moving on. I've thought about the scene in my mind, that scenario where you were there and I just felt ashamed because you deserve to feel safe in that relationship. Not my fault, Mary's fault. And then he says, I failed at that. Okay, so we could be stating the obvious, stating the fact. We are saying not my fault. We are still deflecting and we are manipulating Janelle because she is buying it. Hook, line, and sinker. Next line.
Well, I think the experience was much harder than you thought it was going to be. And
all right, so all we can say is there's an avoidance and a not my fault. The experience's fault.
Wink.
The experience was much harder. All right, let's go on. Janelle lets him off the hook and says, well, I went in pretty idealistic. And he says, yeah. And if I would have protected you, man, this guy is a broken freaking record. He has said the same thing. How many of these manipulation, avoidance, and not my fault? I mean, it's all the same stuff. Yeah, once again, if I would have protected you, avoidance, not my fault, Mary's fault. If I would have made you feel safe in that space, okay, again, hypothetical, but an avoidance of the topic of what we're talking about, we could call it manipulation. I'm just going to say again, not my fault, Mary's fault. If you would have felt like I had your back, avoidance, I'm not even going to say not my fault because that one we can't put on Mary. He's saying he had Mary's back more than hers, or he had nobody's back, maybe. I don't know. Because these are weird words from Kody Brown. And the last thing he says is, it would have made a lot of difference. It would have, had I possibly in the past done this, then maybe this would have maybe made a difference. This is what we're saying here. He calls that an apology?
No, I don't think so.
Not an apology. This is the non-apology tour. There's no other way around it. We have 3 uses of the word apologize. None of them are an actual apology. He never said, I apologize for, and then goes on to say it, right? I'm sorry is taking responsibility. It's personal. I apologize removes yourself from that to say, I apologize for this. It's a cowardly way out. I wanted to come and say that I apologize. I just love to apologize for, not I apologize. He can't put I and apologize together. We have to throw in all these extra words to remove himself even from using the word apologize. And finally, I want to apologize for. The only thing that was connected to that word apology was being angry and bitter. Now, he said, the meanest thing I did was say I didn't love you, but he never apologized for it. He just identified it as, this is the meanest thing I've ever done. He literally only kind of, sort of, in a very distant way, attempted to sort of apologize for a feeling that he had, being angry and bitter. Not one behavior or action, non-apology. Okay. 3 uses of the word apologize, even though there's no apology. 0 uses of I'm sorry, not a surprise. We're going to get rid of stating the intent because that talks about the apology. Okay. Stating facts or just stating the obvious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. 8, just stating facts. It's not an apology when you just say, I behaved like this. I was mean. It's just a fact. Justifying his behavior 3 times. Gosh, I'm surprised it's not more than that. Maybe I missed some. saying something that he did, but then qualifying it as not his fault because either it was Mary's fault or he was too young or he didn't understand if he would have been more of a man, but like, not my fault. Not my fault. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 not my faults. We have manipulating in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sentences, 9 times. Okay. And deflecting, not what we're supposed to be talking about, or avoiding his actual apology for what he did. Deflecting and avoidance was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times. Okay. In 11 other sentences. Now let's go back and count how many total sentences were there. Every time he does a big pause and then goes on, I'm going to count that as a separate sentence because I'm being generous today. It's Christmas. 17 sentences, and there was no apology. Well, now we know. Thank you for analyzing that with me. I hope this wasn't terribly boring to you. Makes me feel better to have the data. After Christine's 2 episodes, we come back and do it again. After Mary's episode, we come back and do it again. Do you think he can literally get through all 3 people and never apologize?
Absolutely.
I think at this point, it's very, very likely and very possible that he doesn't say, I'm sorry, because he's not sorry. So I don't think those words, which are truly taking ownership and responsibility, are ever going to come out of his mouth. I don't think so. We'll see. I might be surprised. I think he'll use the word apologize a lot, though. I wonder after this one, though, since Christine and Mary are more likely to hold his feet to the fire, he might have to pseudo-apologize. I don't think I apologize for. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think we're going to get a lot of, I wanted to come and say that I apologize. I would just love to apologize for, I want to apologize for everything he can to distance himself from it. Okay. 3 uses of the word apologize, though. 0 uses of the words I'm sorry. Thanks for being here with me, and thank you for staying all the way to the very end. I appreciate you, sister friend. Take care, adios. God bless, and until next week, goodbye.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly. La 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly. La 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 la.